Hey guys, what is going on? And welcome back to a brand new year and a second series of that Wolfie Royals podcast. Absolutely thrilled to be back for a second series. I got so much planned for this year. I want to make the podcast bigger and better. And to do so, I've got some fantastic new sponsors on board and some returning from last year as well. So before we hear their sponsor adverts, just going to give you a quick rundown, a little introduction to who they are. So we have returning from the first series, the boys at Wild Racks. We have Ashley from Living Art Ball Pythons. We have Dan at World of Exotics. We have Scott Wilkinson Reptiles. And last but not least, we have Sean from Eve's Temptations Creations and Eve's Temptations Royal Pythons. As I said, I've got loads of great ideas for this year. I really want to improve the YouTube side of things, and I really want to get into some live video as well at some point. So we're going to work out ways to do those. I've been investing in some new equipment and some better upgrades and stuff so we can make it bigger and better this year. So without further ado, let's get into this first episode of 2023. It's been an episode that's been requested loads and loads of times, and I'm sure people thought it was probably going to happen earlier than it has. So as you can tell by the title, we have Darran Hughes of Neighbours Constrictors 13 as the main guest on the episode this month. And we also have Nobby from Nobby Jay Reptiles. Without further ado, let's get into it. This is my new breeder segment with Nobby from Nobby Jay Reptiles.
Hi, this is Ashley from Living Art Ball Pythons, proud to be sponsoring that Wolfie's Royal podcast. I'm a professional, fully licensed ball python breeder with 15 years experience, based in Batley, West Yorkshire. I am always here and happy to help and advise anyone that needs it with no charge, as I believe we should support each other in this industry and hobby. You can check out everything I have available on my Morph Market store, Living Art Ball Pythons, or via my website, livingartballpythons.co.uk. If you are looking for help or advice, you can contact me on social media or through the website. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. You can also visit the website to find out more about us and see the awesome range of products I also stock. 4 years ago, I decided there was a big gap in the market for designer reptile tools and products. Being a girl obsessed with designer ball pythons, I wanted feeding tools and hides to match. I now have a huge range of awesome tools, hides, setup and quarantine kits, substrates, dividers, and more. I am constantly expanding this range, and I am always happy and thankful for any feedback and new product ideas. To give a little something back, I am giving all podcast listeners 10% off all Morph Market prices and off any website order using the discount code WOLFIES10. This is a one-time use code on Morph Market and the website. Thanks for listening. Now back to Tom.
So first new breeder segment of 2023. Here we are with Nobby from Nobby Jay Royals. Thanks for coming on, mate. How's it going?
Yeah, well, mate, not too bad.
Been a long time no see.
Yeah.
Happy New Year and all that.
Yeah, Happy New Year, mate. Haven't seen you for a while.
So obviously, new into the game. How long have you been keeping Royals? Sort of what piqued your interest? What got you started? And take it from there.
I've been into it, I don't know, about just over a year now, I think. Been into it. But I actually bought my first Royal from Darran from Neighbours Constrictors 13. I bought it from him probably about eight years ago. My first snake. Yeah, ever since then, I've just been into snakes.
And was you keeping many back then, or was it just the one?
No, just the one, to be honest with you. And I didn't see Darran for a few years. And I bumped into him, obviously, a few years later. See he's set up down in the garage, and I just loved it and thought I've got to get back into it.
And that was it. Went from there.
Yeah, and now I've got just over 30 snakes now. So
it's snowballing pretty quickly.
Yes.
So who have you sort of bought snakes from? What are you picking up?
I can tell you who I'm buying snakes from. I can't tell you what they are. I've bought some obviously from Darran from Neighbours Constrictors 13, Darran Stairs, Boss Royals, bought a few off of him. Toby.
Morph Matrix, Toby,
yeah, I bought some off of him. I think I've had one off of you, haven't I, as well?
You have, yeah.
Yeah, I've had one off of you, yeah. I've had one off of you.
Luckily we've got people here who can tell you what you bought.
Yeah, you'll have to go through Darran for that one.
So what sort of projects do you want to work with? What's sort of your main focus?
To be honest with you, I ain't got a clue. I just like all snakes.
Just like buy me your eyes?
Yeah.
Whatever you take the fancy with?
Yeah.
Now luckily we have got some people here who can tell you what Nobby has bought. So, Mr. Hughes.
Yeah, so going back with Nobby, I think you actually spoke to me in a pet shop. You're having trouble with a snake that you bought previous to the one you got from me.
Yeah.
and the pet shop sold you a 4-foot tank for a hatchling ball python.
Yeah.
And it didn't feed for nearly a year. And that's how I got to speak to you. I said, look, give it to me, I'll see if I can get it going. Unfortunately, the time it did come to me, it didn't survive. So I think I sorted you out an albino, didn't I?
Albino,
which is called Lily.
Lily,
which is actually my nan's name.
After your nan,
you had that, and you had no problems with that, did you?
No,
I think I changed the setup for you, and sorted a load of food out for it, and how to keep it. And he must have done all right, because I didn't hear from him for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then I caught you at the top of my driveway one day. I think your daughter was down boxing, just down the boxing club, just down the bottom of the road with me, and I caught him standing at the top of the driveway. And obviously I hadn't seen him for a little while. And he drives a transit van as well. And I was like, "Who's this gypsy?" I thought, "Hold on a minute, I'm going to be burgled." And he went, "You Darran?" I was like, "Oh, what have I done?" Yeah. He went, "Oh, it's Nobby." I went, "Oh, mate." It was a little bit later on in the evening. It was dark. I was like, "Oh, mate, how you doing?" He said, "Yeah, daughter's just down there boxing. I thought I'd pop up and see you, see if you're still here." I said, "Yeah, I'm still here." By then, I think I didn't have the garage when you first sort of come round.
No,
the garage
I bought the geckos and the leopard geckos.
Yeah, there's like the room upstairs at the time. It's a lot smaller setup.
Yeah.
And that's when you bought that. When you came down and then ended up seeing me down there, we had a cup of coffee and something.
Yeah.
You probably had a beer. But
yeah, we had a beer.
Always got a beer in his hand, Nobby. So yeah, we got talking, and I think then you was like, "Might have the girls come over and have a look," and you bung your girls over and had a look, and you was like, "Oh, I like that one, I like that one." And I was like, "I can help you out." And then you started getting the wild racks back then. You had some wild racks, and introduced you to the likes of Tom Wolfe, Toby, Leah, and some other people. You come up to Donny with us, saw a lot of people up there, and it was just like, basically I was water to a seed, because he had the passion anyway, and I don't think he knew where to go with it. And then just opened a couple of doors, and we need to list off the stuff he's got, because I love the fact that he doesn't really know what he's got, but he's got like highway het clowns, he's got an OD yellow belly clown, spot nosed pastel clowns. He's got a lot of stuff. You've actually got one off of me that is still to this day the highest liked animal. I think it's 15,000 people viewed it, which is what was that? That was a het pied of some sort, wasn't it? But it was absolutely beautiful. I can't ask to look now. But yeah, you've got some absolutely stunning bits. And your first clutch, which you had last year.
Yes, we'll help you with that, yeah.
Which time you actually helped out with that one? Because I was actually in Benidorm with downstairs.
You was on holiday, weren't you?
Yeah, I was on holiday. So your incubator wasn't quite ready when the clutch come along. We were still doing some work on it. We were putting a lot of thought into that as well. It's going to be a very, very good incubator. So Tom, he was nice enough to come look after my collection when I was away. I said to you that is his clutch. But it wasn't ready. It wasn't due to hatch. But you turned up one day and it was all wriggling around in the tub.
About day 52, 53, and there was a load of snakes out there, but there was cracking first clutch. Can you remember what it was?
Give me a minute.
It was a pewter.
It's a pewter. Yeah.
Female. To a champagne cinnamon. Fire
pastel, that's it, yeah. So the grey matter, that's it, that's what they produced.
You got grey matter, didn't you? Yeah, which is absolutely beautiful. And you've got a really weird one in there, it's got a paradox, his nose is just black. Yeah. That's really nice. But you've got a lot of them, you need to get them all market set up for you, because they're doing really well now, they're all eating fine and that.
I want to keep them all.
That's all right, because we get Liam to sort out new wild racks and you can keep them all. But there's definitely some keepers in there you're keeping, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep 2 or 3 of them, I think. 2 or 3 I'd like to keep.
So what does 2023 hold for you in terms of pairings and stuff?
Again, obviously because I'm new into it, I need Darran to come over, whatever I can, whatever's ready, whatever's up the size, and whatever's makes a good pairing.
There's got some bits in there that I think will shock people from someone at Nobby's level at the moment, because I say you know what he's got. That highway het clown thing, and you've got the OD, you've got that spot nose.
OD yellow belly spot nose, isn't it, or something?
Yeah, you should have bought that, Tom.
Yeah. Wasn't for want to try him.
I think you've done it a couple on him, nicked him at the post, didn't you, and bought them?
No comment.
Fucker.
Snooze, you lose. Yeah,
you keep yourself pretty quiet on social media, don't you? So
I do it again because of that. I don't know what I'm doing when I do post things. a very good friend of mine helps me out.
Yeah. I think people know it's me.
Yeah, they do.
Liam even said to me once, he went, "Did you write this out for Nobby?" I was like,
maybe.
Yeah. Well, probably spelling mistakes in it. That's why.
But I'm getting there. It's still early. It's still early days for me. I've been in about a year now, like properly
Properly about a year.
Been about a year now, properly. So I am starting to pick certain things up. I know a banana now. I'm going to see because it's got the black dots on it. I know that.
Building up a pretty solid collection there with 30 odd animals with some really good breeders. So
yeah,
I'm sure there'll be a bright future in it.
Yeah, I'm happy with what I've got. I'm very happy.
Now it is a bit of an altered, what do you call it, a new breeder segment. 4 of us sitting around Darren's kitchen table at the minute. So we're going to have a bit of a 2023, a new year catch up. So we've got Nobby, obviously, Darran, and joined by Mr. Liam Biss, who's now shying away from the microphone.
Bringing flashbacks.
Yeah, when it all went downhill for you on YouTube.
Yeah. I wouldn't say downhill, I was just too busy. I did it during lockdown for something to do, and then obviously when things got back up running and that, I just didn't have time to carry on and do it anymore. No, I enjoyed it when I did it. Yeah, I'll leave it to you now, mate.
Now you just sponsor it.
Yeah, just sponsor it now.
That's it.
Yeah.
So what's in the pipeline for you in 2023 in terms of breeding or sort of other ventures with wild racks, etc.?
So there's a lot of stuff going on with him because he's got
fingers in many pies.
Mine and Nobby's and yours is yours is the podcast as well, but mine's just breeding snakes. You've now
we've got
branching out quite a lot.
Yeah, obviously the racking's going really well. I mean, we obviously Darran designed him, and it was sort of, he helped his friends out, and then he didn't want to run with the idea. So
I just didn't have time. I'd love to have done it. I just didn't have time. And then when Toby come out of work, he was saying, "I think this can do this, that, the other. They can do well because they are cheap. They are perfect for someone who wants to breed indoors because they look nice. They don't look like a bit of scaffolding with heat pads strapped to them.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with the ones like that. I think they're perfect if you've got a set up room that not in your front room and you're not looking across at scaffolding, like I call it. So I've always said they'd be brilliant for people that want to keep a relatively small collection. They hold heat brilliantly. They look okay. You can choose which colour tub you want. You can choose what colour wood you want, how high, how wide, anything you want. If you give us a tub, we can make a rack for it, basically. Liam it was just Toby at the time.
Yeah.
Toby said, I think you do really well. And I said, look, all right, we'll do it. I said, you do most of it and I'll do the designs and the ordering, because I had the contacts for doing all the ordering. And then when Toby was doing a bit, he rang me up and said, look, Liam's helping out a bit. Is that all right? I said, yeah, I haven't got a problem, as long as you don't talk to me. I said, I ain't worried. But he said that. So he said, and to be honest with you, them two, they take all credit. Because all I did is I just made some of it, and then I actually come up with a name. I was on the phone to Toby when I come up with the name, and at the time I was driving a Ford Ranger Wild Track.
Yeah.
And I was on the phone, I said, I don't know what to call it, and I turned round and I looked at my van, it had Wild Track. I went, what about Wild Rex? So that's where we come up with the logo, Wild Rex. I was thinking, that'll do. And it's worked out really well. I think you come up with a logo for it, Liam, didn't you?
Yeah.
You come up
but
with
that's pretty much,
write the word Wild Rex and then double it.
Well, no, I didn't even do that. I just sent it off to Fiverr. Can someone do something with this? And God bless Fiverr.
Yeah, it's come out brilliant. It's not ridiculously fancy. It's not under fancy, if you want to say. It's not crap.
No.
It's perfect for what it is. It's wild racks. So you've got the wild animals that we all know we love to keep, and then you've got the racks. It's like says
hand in hand, doesn't it?
Yeah, it says what it does on the tin.
Yeah. And we don't make it out to be anything that it's not. It's It's got its place in the market. We know where the place is for that rack in the market.
Well, you're good friends with the other guy that makes racks, aren't you?
JBK.
Yeah, you're really good friends with him, aren't you?
Yeah.
And I think he's actually said that they're good racks that we've got. Mm-hmm. And like you said, there's a price range for everybody, and there's a need for something. So you've got to choose your price range, and then you've got to choose, is it going to look okay there? Is it going to do the job what I want it to do? And then you go through, and if you want to choose something else, choose something else.
Yeah.
Right. But if you want the lower end of the range that does exactly the same sort of job, and if you look after them properly, because I've heard some horror stories, people ain't looking after them. I've got one down here, nearly 9 years old now.
Yeah.
Working perfectly. And I'll be honest, if I took it out and give it a rub down and washed up, probably sell it as brand new. It's fine. But then I've got the other ones down there, which were my prototype that I will never make again for anybody, which is the 3 wide. Doesn't work. 2 wide, the weight of the animals in there just doesn't work. I think I could tweak the design to make it work, but it'd put it up in price and it'd probably make it far too heavy, because they're quite heavy anyway, so it'd probably make it far too heavy. Anyway, I hijacked that question.
Yeah, no, I was going to go back to it. People don't understand how long you've actually been designing these racks for, and you've made mistakes along the way.
Yeah, loads.
That's why now we are very happy, and we stand behind any rack we make because you've made mistakes in the past, and you've corrected them, and you've worked on them for so long.
2013 is when I first done my rack.
Exactly.
I wanted my room upstairs to. I had snakes before, but there was different snakes in vivs or glass vivs.
Yeah.
When I moved into this house, I knew what I wanted into that room upstairs, which was 5 wide, 3 high. So I did 2, 2, 1. And I had them from 2013 when I moved in, late 2013 I moved in this house. And they worked. They work. I think you've got them now, Nobby. Nobby's, and they're still working fine now, aren't they?
Yeah, still fine, yeah.
Absolutely fine.
So what's next on the agenda for Wild Racks? Any new updates?
We're pretty set on the racks. I think we cover everything. I say this now because we're sort of we're building other projects. I mean, we're looking at doing a courier service because I think there's potential there. There's a market.
Makes sense as well when you deliver the own racks as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You can double up on the deliveries, can't you?
We're across the country most of the time anyway, so it just works out really well. We're actually looking at a facility to start rodent production at a...
You got names for these companies as well now?
Yeah. So
we're allowed to talk about it?
It'll be, for the courier, Wild Tracks.
Yeah. Why'd you call it that?
It just clicks.
Yeah.
Just clicks. Rodents would be Wild Snacks.
I see where you're coming. I see the pattern. I see the pattern.
Yeah. All we need is a shop now. That'll be Wild Shack.
There you go, sorted.
There you go. Job
Building
done.
an empire.
He's not like in the Wild Shack. He's not like in the Wild Shack. No. But no, we've ventured out. We've seen there's a lot to be done in this industry.
There's a lot of customers.
There is a lot of customers.
And the more options the customer's got, the better for the customer.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
No one should have a monopoly on everything.
No.
We're
not trying to push anybody out. Not trying to upset anybody.
Yeah.
Just trying to put another option for someone to use.
Yeah.
Yeah. If people don't want to use us, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, ultimately, at the end of the day, people will vote with their money. If they want to spend their money with you guys, they'll spend the money with you guys. If they want to spend it elsewhere, they'll spend it elsewhere.
Yeah. We just won't talk to them.
No, but to be honest, I can't believe how much Wild Racks has grown. When I got involved in it, I didn't envision it going like this at all. I thought we'll sell 10, 12 racks a year.
I had a bit of an inkling because obviously when I was doing them for friends, my friends would then put them up on, say, thanks to Darran for designing this building, delivering it and all that. The amount of people that used to message me, and at the time I'd just say, look, I can't do it because of the delivery side of things.
Yeah.
So the only thing I couldn't do is the delivery. I looked into it once and it was expensive to deliver. You had to have pallets, you had to supply your own pallet and this, that, the other. That's what stopped me from doing it. And then obviously Toby and then Liam jumped on board and they took over the delivery side of things, and pretty much it was ridiculously busy at the beginning, wasn't it? And I was like, I was on a WhatsApp.
Because you were too cheap, that's why.
Not about money. But you do have to make money. Like if you're spending your time on something, and it is, you and Toby spend a lot of time on it. A lot of time now, because I've handed pretty much everything over to you. I've given all my login details from the suppliers. I don't even do that now. So you just have to chase me because I'm busy. Can you order this? Yeah. 2 weeks later. Have you ordered him? Yeah. And then in the end I was like, look, I'll just give you the login details, just tell me, because everything has to be, most of the stuff has to be delivered here, because I'm down as the account holder. Everything had to be delivered here. So he now just rings me and goes, right, expect this delivery, expect that delivery. So it's much easier now. It's better for me because I struggle. I mean, I like being busy to a degree. My job's busy, and I'm busy down there on rodents and snakes. And that Wild Racks went mental, absolutely mental. And I was like, at one point I said, look, I ain't doing this no more. I remember I could probably still got a message, look, I want out of this. I didn't want to do this. You can do it. And that's you went, look, all right, we'll take over. No problem.
So you're pretty much just our receptionist now.
Pretty much. Yeah. and the voice on the sponsor for
the adverts. Yeah. You've got your place still.
He knows his
I'm
role.
still needed at the moment.
So obviously this will probably go out after the introduction of the sponsors. Wild Racks have decided to come on board again for the 2023 season.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for that.
So I'm looking forward to recording that.
Paying you in loose change.
Yeah. The last time I had to record it, we was drinking whiskey, Tom, weren't we? And it
Just
it went on for so long trying to get it out. That's why it was so short in the end. I thought, I've got that one, leave it.
Just panicked. Just panic, get it out there.
I just kept saying Neighbours Constrictors, not Wild Racks. I just couldn't get it out for some reason.
Stage fright.
Well, I think we're going to wrap it up shortly then, before we move on to the main episode and the infamous Wild Racks sponsor advert recording, which could take a while.
Yeah, we'll get the whiskey out.
Don't start that again. But thanks for joining me, Nobby. Thanks for joining me, Liam. And pleasure as always, Darran. And see you again soon.
Yeah, catch you later.
2023.
And there we have it, guys. That was Nobby from Nobby Jay Reptiles and a few little surprise guests as well. Thanks, Nobby, for coming on the show. He was really, really nervous and he's brand new into it. He's still getting to grips with some of the stuff, so he's eager to learn. He's going to have a really good future because he's got some absolutely amazing animals. So I'm sure you'll be seeing more of his name in the future as well. Now, on to the main guest. This is one that's been requested loads and loads of times, as I said at the top of the show. I'm sure people were probably expecting this, maybe last series. He's one of my best friends in the hobby, one of my best friends outside of the hobby as well. A genuine nice guy. You'll be troubled to find anyone nicer than Darran. So let's get into it, shall we? This is my one-on-one with Neighbours Constrictors 13.
Hi, it's Dan from World of Exotics. We're a specialist reptile shop based on the Wirral, proud to be sponsoring the Wolfies Royals podcast. If you're ever in the area and need any of your reptile supplies, we're always fully stocked with live food, frozen food and everything else you need for your animals. We always try to have a wide selection of different species in store with a good selection of royal pythons. We update our animal lists weekly on our website at worldofexotics.co.uk, and please check out our social media on both Facebook and Instagram at World of Exotics. Now back to the podcast.
So here we are in Neighbours Constrictors 13 with the one and only Mr. Darran Hughes. Thanks for coming on, Darran.
Not a problem, and hi everybody. Happy New Year as well.
It is first episode of 2023, released a week late with Christmas and New Year, so I think people will be eagerly awaiting this one.
Yeah, but you're kicking it off strong, aren't you?
I think people thought this would be a podcast that was probably released last year.
Yeah, and we've spoken about doing one. I think you actually put out that you was going to do one with me anyway, and my headspace weren't the greatest, and because I do have little ups and downs in life. I know everyone does, but when I'm down, I go quiet.
Yeah. No, I think obviously you just come off the back of doing some other podcasts as well. So
yeah, changing jobs. So my life was a little bit up in here at the time when we spoke about it. And the thing is, when someone says something to me about, do you want to do it? I go, yeah. But every fibre of me is going, no, you don't. No, you don't want to do that. And the closer it gets, the stronger that gets. And they're like, oh, sorry, mate, I can't do it.
No, I mean, it's something we talked about before. You're a people pleaser. You always try and say yes to everything, and it sometimes is at the detriment to yourself, which I know we've spoken about, and you're going to try and say no more, which is difficult.
Yeah, I'm going to take a leaf out of my partner Claire's book, and she says no to quite a lot of stuff that I want. So if I can be like Claire, we should be okay.
It'll be absolutely fine.
My happiness will be back to a degree.
So let's get into it. Give us a brief rundown of when, where, why, what, who, how did you get into reptiles and more specifically royal pythons?
Not really sure. It's going to be brief because I've been around for a little while, and obviously I was around a lot longer before I was known. I think a lot of people know anyway, where I live in Kent, not so much now, but back when I was a kid, it was a lot of farmland, pig farms and stuff like that. So me and my older brother, who was actually my hero, he's done a lot with me, put up with a lot as well. I've terrorised him. For a little brother, I've actually terrorised him. But yeah, me and my brother used to go over to pig farms and catch slow worms, lizards. And then the big kids showed us how to catch adders safely. We used to catch adders, released them straight away. But with the lizards and the slow worms and the grass snakes, we used to take them home. And Mum was pretty relaxed on letting us keep them, but she was very strong on putting them back where you found them. So me and my brother used to go put them back. Just bring frogs born home for the local lakes, and we'd put them in the bucket and then we'd watch them grow. So did that. So there's always been an interest of animals there anyway. And growing up, we had all different animals. My mum was really good. We had terrapins, we had guinea pigs, rabbits, budgies, everything. So the interest of animals and the welfare and keeping them, learning about them has always been there. But I can always remember when I was thinking about getting my first house with my girlfriend Claire. As soon as we went to Mexico a year before, and I can remember going around. There's a big place out there called Chits and Its, and they've got these big like iguanas, rock iguanas, whatever they are. Probably got that totally wrong what they are. But I'm always thinking, as soon as I get my own place, I want to get something exotic. I want to get something. Got my own place. Went to a local pet shop. No research. That's what we do. And I bought what I thought were bearded dragons, and they never grew ever. Did a bit of research, turned out I've actually bought ranking dragons, which turned out to be I'm really happy with because they were brilliant. A lot more. They've got quite a lot of character bearded dragons anyway, but ranking dragons you can keep them in colonies, and they are a lot more character to them, and they are a little bit more feisty to play with and stuff like that. And they were wicked. Then I went on to the bearded dragons, and that's where the breeding came in, because when I got the bearded dragons, I fell in love with them, and I still love bearded dragons now. I think I'm going to get another one. Went into bearded dragons. I didn't do Facebook, I didn't know about Instagram then, didn't do none of that. I've never been good with tech, so I was just breeding them and selling them to shops. I did a lot of driving around, picking new bits up, just by speaking to people. Oh, so and so's got that, and I would go off driving around the country, meeting people, and they had a lot bigger collection than me. I think at the time I had, I don't know, 10 or 15 bearded dragons, all in Vivs, not kept together. But I did that, and I was driving around, and I was buying new ones, and I was right up on the malls, like the Fire and Ice and the Hypos and this, that, the other, Silkbacks and stuff like that. When I did get my own house, I had all that, and when I was at my mum's, I was always allowed bearded dragons, but never snakes. And the first snakes I ever bought were Brazilian rainbow boas.
Okay.
And everybody I spoke to was saying, no, they're not a first time person's snake. You got to go for a common snake, which I've never got. I've never got telling someone to buy something they don't want so they can learn about what they do want.
Yeah.
For me, it's a little bit backwards.
Completely.
If you want something, just put the extra time in and learn about exactly what you want. Don't buy something you don't want to learn, then you're going to sell on.
Yeah.
So
do the research.
Yeah, I've done the
work.
research on the Brazilian rainbow boas, and I'll be honest with you, I'd recommend them. They're brilliant feeders. They're really easy to handle. A little bit nippy at the beginning, but nothing horrendous. And I absolutely loved them. I loved them, and got them. And then I went into Mexican black king snakes, which I actually bred them. I didn't breed the rainbow boas. Bred them. Then I got the tricolour hognoses. Done tricolour hognoses. Rhino rat snakes, loads of different colubrids and stuff like that. At the time, my nephew was helping me a lot, Joseph, not Keenan. My nephew Joseph was helping me a lot. And I said to his parents, look, he's right into the reptiles, he's helped me out really well, he's done a lot of research on them, knows what he's playing about with. He's talking about having one, would you be happy with me buying him one? And I said, yeah, not a problem, as long as you help out. I said, yeah, I'll help out. So I sort of sneakily kept saying to Joseph, what are you looking for? And he said, bumblebee.
Okay.
And at the time, I've heard of ball pythons and not really paid too much attention. So when he went, I Googled bumblebee ball python. And I was just amazed by it. But when you Google a morph, it fires up all different other morphs as well. So I put in picture and it was coming up. And I saw a pied. And I just could not believe that was real. And if it was, didn't think it'd be in England. So sort of in my mind, but at the back, and I was thinking more about getting this one for Joseph. So done a bit of looking about, found a guy that was selling a bumblebee hatchling, messaged him, went up there to pick it up, got chatting away to him, and he's actually a big breeder, but he's quite a big breeder. Even now, I owe him everything that we've got around me, which is my friend James. And I was talking to him about this pied picture I see him, and yeah, I've got some of them. And I was like, really? And he brung them down. And I was like, jeez. So I ended up buying 2 pieds, 2 albinos, and the bumblebee for Joseph. I didn't pick my 4 up straight away because I didn't have nothing for him. I had something for Joseph for him. So yeah, that's how I got into the ball pythons. And at the time, I thought I was going to be a millionaire putting albino to albino and pied to pied. I thought, yeah, this is me licked in a year's time. I'll be giving up my job. I'll be driving a Bentley. But yeah, so got into it that way, and then I started doing, like everyone does, research on ball pythons, YouTube, Brian Barczyk, watching that guy on snake bites with his mate Chewy, which I thought was hilarious.
Always getting bitten.
Yeah, which I loved. I loved that. Started watching that, and he was doing a lot of ball pythons when I was looking. It was more ball pythons than absolutely anything.
Yeah.
He didn't have his reserve. And I was like, oh, I love the look of this. And then, obviously, he was doing like breakdowns on morphs and what they're carrying.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could do this. I can do this. Not for money, for anything like that, but I was just thinking, I want to do this. I'm quite artistic. I put a lot of thought into anything I do. It has to be the best.
Yeah.
I have to put a lot. I can't just go, I've got that. I'll get something and I want to do something. I want to change it. Like my
Evidence
van.
by the caddy.
Yeah. So everything I do in my house, I bought a house and I thought, right, I'm going to do extension here, I'm going to do extension there, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm the only person, my mate done my extension for me. I've got the largest overpay, because obviously I once you give me the price, I started adding bits to it. That's how I am. If you don't hurry up and do it, I'll start adding. So I looked at them and I thought, right, I want to do that. And actually, I think another snake I bought was a pastel pinstripe.
Yeah.
I had that. Obviously, I've become really good friends with the guy who sold me the original pieds and the albinos, and I say he's got a lot of stuff up there. And I had done a lot of help. I ended up helping him a lot because my job helped his job.
Yeah.
So I work for Thames Water, so I know a lot about the running into water mains and stuff like that. And he's actually got a lot of animals up there and wanted water run into it. So I'd done some favours for him, and in return, he gave me more snakes.
Win-win.
Yeah, so I got into that, and then I become friends with local pet shops that were buying my surplus off me, and they used to do a thing like a reptile evening where you go up there. But they didn't have much on the ball python side of things, but they used to have a lot of people go up there, and then they asked me to take some of my ball pythons up to show them off. So I did that. I was showing them off, and then I met some other people, and this one guy who came round here, started buying some snakes from me. And he said, oh, my best mate has got some ball pythons, and I've been telling him about you, Darran. He said, any chance I can bring him around and introduce you? And the guy lived in Surrey at the time. His name's Eric. So this guy, Alan, introduced me to Eric. Eric came round here. I think Alan and Eric was working together at the time. Yeah, he came round, drove down, and at the time I only had the room upstairs in my house. And we was talking. He was talking about his morphs he's got, and I was talking about the morphs I've got. And we liked totally different, which was quite nice because he would listen to me about stuff that I like and got into it, and I was listening to him about the stuff I didn't particularly like, that dark stuff, but I could hear his excitement, and I like hearing that. And it turned from a phone call every week to every night, and then we were chatting, and then we started going, I'm going to this show, do you fancy coming with me? And we just hit it off. We become great mates, to the point where he's ended up moving next door. He works for the same company, and yeah, so that's the shorter version of it. But then me and Eric started working together on different projects. I've got a lot bigger collection, so everyone thinks we fell out.
Yeah.
Didn't fall out. It worked out better for me in some ways, and probably better for Eric. This hobby is yours. Whoever's listening, it's your hobby. And sometimes when you get people encroach on your hobby, it becomes a bit frictiony, and they might not do something exactly the same way as you do, and I might not do the way he did it. So, and then there's obviously a lot of work my side. Eric's collection was a lot smaller, so we just said, look, I'll tell you what, we'll just go back to where we were.
Yeah.
Rather than falling out, go back to where we were. He still comes round here, I still go round there. When he goes on holiday, I'll look after his. When you're not round here, he comes round and makes sure everything's right. It still works perfectly, but yeah, everyone thought we had a big falling out, and not really true.
So that was obviously the start of Neighbours Constrictors.
That was the start of Neighbours Constrictors, yeah. And that name just didn't work. It didn't work in the head, but we kept saying it. And every time he said it, I was like, I don't know, it's no good. And I said it, and he was like, no, I don't know, good. And the only time it clicked is when we heard someone else say it. When we heard someone else say Neighbours Constrictors, I thought, hey, that works. And I really loved the name. So when we did go our own ways, all I did is put my door number to it. Because my brain didn't really... I just loved it, and I thought, I don't want to change it. And I spoke to a few people about changing it, and they said I should have done. But I didn't want to. It's a good history.
Yeah.
It's a new page.
Yeah.
Page 13. So I just went with it. And then Neighbours Constrictors 13 was born. I carried on doing exactly what I've always done. Doing the animals, looking after the animals the way I've always done it. and then met a lot of fucking great people. A lot of great people. You've got yourself, you've got Kyle, Andy Fagan, Robert Nash, questionable, Robert Nash, Paul, you've got Gav, Ross McGee. You've got so many people out there that...
Darran, all sorts of
I
people.
wanted to mention him, really.
Yeah, I want to bring him up.
Yeah, we've got Darran Stairs, even Nobby, and my friend Steve King, who's now just got into it with his son, I went to school with, and he's hit the floor running. He's listened to me, he's gone and got some decent racking, he's got a purpose-built room. But yes, there's people I'm meeting, and at the time, I wanted to be that person's friend, everybody's person's friend. Like you said at the beginning, I wanted to be everybody's person's friend, everybody that come to me for help, or I could go for them help. Unfortunately, not everybody's like that.
No.
And I took a few knocks, and it really wobbled me in my hobby, and I was like, people that I class as real good friends did some questionable things, and I was like, didn't know if I wanted to do the hobby again. So of late, I've taken a massive step back from social media. My circle's small, but it's open.
Yeah.
I'm not saying nobody's allowed in it, but I'm just keeping it small, and I'm not reaching out to people. If someone reaches out to me, I'm always help, because that's how I am. But I'm going to concentrate on my animals. I'm going to concentrate on what I want to do, which we spoke off the mics earlier about cutting my collection down, because I've got a lot going on. I'm being very selective this year on what I'm pairing. One, because of how busy I am. Two, the market. And I don't want to just pair something just to pair it.
Yeah.
As much as I love doing that, I don't think it helps the market the way it is at the moment. So I'm being very sensible, I think, on the pairings I'm doing this year. I wasn't going to do any.
Yeah, this is something we talked about less than, 2-3 weeks ago, probably?
Yeah, I wasn't going to do any this year. I was going to have a real good... I didn't want to do pairings, and at the moment, I'm down. This is why I said to you, I think it'd be good to do it, because I'm down. I'm in a lower place at the moment of happiness. I'm okay, but I'm in a lower place. So I thought about not doing it. I thought, right, because I'm in a low place, I won't do nothing. Plus the market's a little bit wobbly at the moment, so I won't. It'll help the market. Won't hurt to fatten the girls up and rest the boys. So I thought, it's good all round. It was only yesterday that I came down here. I've done a big clean. I cleaned all the adults out. I'm pointing for anybody's. So I cleaned all the adults out, and I was getting stuff out, and I felt that excitement come back again. And I was like, I forgot I had that. Oh, look how beautiful that. Going through, and I was still, you can't help it when you pick a snake out, you think, I could put that to that. Yeah. Even though I'm thinking of having a year off, so I'm going to cap it at 5. I think last year, off the top of my head, I think about 18 clutches. Year before that, 26 clutches. I'm going to cap it to 5 this year, but they're going to be 5 bangers.
Yeah,
that's what I'm telling myself. But I have got a lot of stuff. I'm going to move on. I'm sitting here now, and we're looking at one of my racks. It's not totally full up, but there's 27 females, and they're either het pied or visual pieds. That is going to get cut down. There's a lot of big female pieds that I'm going to let go, because I've got pieds growing on, female pieds growing on.
With double recessives as well.
Yeah, I've got my double recessives as well. I'm coming away from certain projects, so the males will be up for sale, but the visual females are going to go into double recessive projects. Doing that, and just going to concentrate on certain things. The burgundy is always strong in my heart.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think I'm going to be pairing any burgundy this year.
Okay.
I'm going to concentrate. My clowns are creeping up, but they're not as where I want them. So I think the 5 pairings this year probably will be clown side things, just to get it up a bit.
Okay.
I'm all right with pied, so even though I could have a year off and I'd still be all right.
Yeah, you got a lot of pied.
Yeah, so I'm going to have a rest with me pied stuff this year and do the clowns, and then just take 24 when it comes, see what happens and see where I am.
It makes sense. I think it's... like you say, given the current situation with the market and stuff, it's probably not a bad thing at all. Cutting those numbers down. I know we've spoken in the past, and you said the thing you hate most about the hobby is selling animals. It's it's a lot of time, it's a lot of constraints and things. So reduce that number, reduce the amount of pairings, reduce the stress and the effort put on yourself.
I love cleaning them. I do. I love cleaning them. It's not the numbers I've got. It's when you've got projects, you've got to make horrible decisions sometimes, like what you're going to keep and what you're going to let go. And there's some animals here that I've had for years.
Yeah.
Like when I first started, and they are hard to let me go. My sugar pastel, which I let go last year, that was really hard for me, but it's pointless keeping when I've got exactly the same animal there that's 100% het pied, possible wet desert ghost.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. It came from her. So that was hard to let go. So I've let that go. And by letting that go, it stops me doing that. I wonder what this would look like. Then I'll get stuck with animals, or hard to sell the animals on.
Yeah.
So that's the decisions I'm going to go down the route of.
That makes sense. So what excites you most in the hobby? What is it that you really gets you going? What is it that you strive to do?
It used to be helping people, and I will do that. I get a real buzz from helping someone and seeing them succeed on the advice that I've given. I used to get a real buzz from it. But now coming back into myself and looking after mine, it's my time. My time in here on my own is the buzz I get.
Yeah.
Because my work, I'm on my phone. If anyone saw my history on my phone calls I make and get, it's relentless. I think you've been around when I've been on call sometimes.
Yeah.
It's relentless. My phone does not stop. So when I come in here, if we just stop talking now, it's lovely.
Tranquil.
It's
Silence.
tranquil. I've got one little window. No one can see into me. That's. Oh, it used to be tinted. I took it off. But I've got one little window. I've got my animals, me. I put a bit of music on. Yesterday I was in here. I was listening to Black Sabbath. A little bit of Black Sabbath. And I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I thought, this is what I miss. This is what I miss. I love helping people, but I love my animals and me. No one else. I always welcome people around, but I love it. I love being in here on my own. I love working with my animals. I love looking at what I've created, because a lot of the stuff in here is created by me.
Yeah.
And what I've produced and the hard work I've done over the years. So that's where I want to go back to, is me enjoying my animals. I'm not going to ignore people. If someone wants help, I'll help them. But I just want to get back to what I started with and what I loved.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, ever since I've known you for 3-4 years now, there's always someone here.
Yeah.
Every weekend there's always different people coming down and having a look around, and I think that's a testament to you and how sort of open you are with everything, and everyone's welcome pretty much. And
yeah, that still does happen. But what I used to do is, I was like, on a Friday night, I'd think, I've got so much down there to do. I just need to get on with it. Just get down there, a bit of music, get on with it. And then 2 seconds later, someone would message me, I want to pop round tomorrow. I'd go, yeah. But what I should say is, look, do you mind if I just get these done, come round Sunday?
Yeah.
If I get them done on a Saturday, come round Sunday.
Yeah.
I need to start putting me and my animals first. That's what I need to do. Don't get me wrong, my animals are always clean. You come round here.
Absolutely.
You come round here, don't we all? I cleaned them yesterday. I guarantee you go through and find 10 tubs that need cleaning again. But that's the nature of keeping these animals. But when you've got a lot of work to do and people come down here to have a look, they want your attention as well. So it's hard to do animals and give someone their attention.
Yeah.
And what I was doing, I was putting everybody else first, saying, yeah, come down and have a look. And then once they'd gone, I'd be stressing and rushing around. You've been good enough to come down and help me a couple of times catch up, because I've left it too long and people have been here a lot longer than I thought. So that's what I need to do. I need to be not nasty, but look, I'll be honest a minute, I'm really busy. Let me get these animals cleaned. If I get done by tomorrow, I'll drop you a message, pop round.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I need to do, and I hadn't been. I'd been putting my animals off to be looked after for someone to come in and talk snakes, which I love talking snakes, but when they're gone, I'm left with everything that needs to be done.
100 odd animals to still
If I
be
don't
clean.
get it done, my OCD kicks in and it really stresses me out. So that's what I need to do. I need to cut back on putting my animals second and people first.
So, if you could change one thing in the hobby to better the experience for you or better the experience in general, what would that be? Because obviously there's a lot of negatives or downsides to this hobby. That
Obviously, I
people
listen to all your
comment on and things.
podcasts. I listen to all of them, and every single person says Facebook.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't get rid of Facebook. It'd just be nice if people could be how they would be if they was in front of you.
Yeah.
Not firing out abuse unnecessarily. I know Snakes and the Fat Man says about everyone being really nice at the moment, and at some point it's going to crumble down. I don't think it is. I hope it don't. But I do get what he means. I do understand what he says. But what would I change? I don't know. Do you know what? I've had a really good run. There's things I change with me, I think. Not everybody else. And that would be my trust. I'm too easy to trust people. And in that trust, I have been bent over a few times, which we've spoken about. So, yeah, not that I wouldn't trust them. I'd just be a little bit more careful with what I do straight off the bat.
I mean, anyone knows you or anyone that's been around here, time and time again, you will let anyone have anything. People take stuff out of here without paying, myself included, and it's money isn't an issue to you. You never chase people for money. You never, push people for anything.
I'll get up at 4:20 in the morning to go earn my money.
Yeah,
that's my money. If I can get money out of this, it goes back into the snakes.
Yeah,
and now the caddy. But yeah, I just like people having what they want, and if someone wants to take it and pay me on whenever, and I know them, they're welcome.
Yeah.
But there's a few occasions where it's not gone.
You've been burned.
Yeah, and I feel like I've tried helping them, and then it's turned sour.
Yeah.
And I feel a bit responsible for that because I let it happen. If I didn't said to them, like, pay it off, I've lost some friends because of money and because I don't care about it, but they do. And yeah, it's gone a bit sour on a few people, which is sad, but some people have to show their colours through money.
Yeah, it's a great divider, isn't it, money? It's money talks, as they say.
Yeah, but things I'd like to change. I'd like certain people to get on.
Yeah.
Because I think if certain people got on better, we'd be phenomenal in England.
Yeah. Oh, a lot less infighting would be huge.
Yeah. And it makes it awkward for people that are friends with other people, but not friends with them.
You almost feel like you've got to sit in one camp or the other.
It's a horrible feeling. It's a horrible, horrible feeling. And when you're with one person, you're thinking, I bet he thinks I'm money here because of this. And you go back to the other person, they're going, I saw him over and listen, if you don't get on, don't get on. If I want to like that person, I will like that person. If you don't want to like that person, I'm not going to tell you not to.
Yeah.
If you've got your agenda, you go with it. If it's right or wrong, I don't know.
Yeah, it's your life, live it. But like I say, the infighting within the hobby is crazy. And it's such simple things and such trivial things that just separate people for no reason. Yeah,
but the thing is, I think certain people will never get on no matter what situation you put them in. Yeah. You get leaders. Everyone wants to be a lead, or certain people want to lead. So if you put two leaders together, they're never going to get on.
Going to butt heads.
Yeah, they're going to butt heads. So, but yeah, that side of thing. It'd be nice to see not everybody get on, but be respectful.
Yeah.
I'd rather be people to be a bit
more
more
it goes back to what you're saying. Certain people aren't going to get on in whatever situation you put them in. But it's about then being civil, being respectful, and being adult enough about it just to say, yeah, okay, cool, we don't get on, but we're in the same hobby, we're the same industry, the same business, or whatever it is you're doing in there. Let's just not put on this divisive front and try and do things for...
Yeah, there's always little... I find a lot of people can be indirect with their insults.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't
if you're going to insult someone, be direct about it.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Who were the biggest influences on you when you were sort of coming up through the hobby, and even now, sort of now you're established and sort of maybe one of the influences for other people?
So ball pythons on its own, because obviously I did a lot of reptiles before that. Ball pythons on its own influences. I will say my mate James, I'm going to say his name's James Hill-Brown. No one's going to know him, but he's got a big clout.
He's got a huge
in
collection,
the UK for animals. Absolutely every single... You can think of any animal, reptile-wise, he's
probably
got it.
Or had
imported it. Correctly for someone. He's quality. He's hilarious. He's a good, trusting man, honest, and he's helped me out no end. Every bit of advice he's ever given me, I've put into practice, and it's worked.
Yeah,
absolutely worked. And that's going against a lot of what other people have told me in the UK. But he said, "Look, I've done this, I've done this, I've done that. Don't do what the Americans do because their climate's different, and this, and it's all worked. And touch wood, I've never had an RI from the information he's given me. So, but yeah, so James, on a personal level, but it's going to be Barczyk, isn't it? Brian Barczyk. He was the first thing I sort of popped up on YouTube, started watching. It was Barczyk. And I'll be honest, obviously I don't know what he did in the past to get the hate that I don't think he deserves. But I also think everyone goes on about him, he's bad, he's done this, he's done that. Without doing them mistakes with the animals that he had, we haven't learnt.
Yeah.
So, fair play to him. He's had to go through them mistakes, the poor bastard. But from him doing that, we've learned what we need to know about keeping them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think Brian Parchek, obviously on a fantasy world, and then James has been really good with me. But moving on is my circle: Darran Stairs, Robert Nash, yourself, Kyle, Andy Fagan. My circle, everybody in that circle, Eric, Ross McGee, all the people that I'm really close with, that I can pick my phone up and go, look, this is this, and they give me that honest answer. Whether I want to hear that answer or not, I know them people will give me honest answers.
Yeah.
So they're my inspiration. There's my friends around me.
Yeah, I think it's good to have sort of inspirations that are relatable, close to you as well. Because, like you say, it is a more sincere approach, a more sincere sort of opinion that they're probably going to give you.
Sorry, Eddie Ford.
That is brilliant, that guy.
Yeah, Eddie Ford.
He's
I
brilliant.
know I can ring Eddie Ford up, and anything he tells me, if I do the opposite, I should be all right.
That is a great guy, Eddie.
Yeah.
Doesn't rustle up some bad food either. So
He does. He don't. Actually, I think he does some of it, so I'll take that back. Yeah, but his lovely wife is
phenomenal food.
Yeah,
Phenomenal food.
We need to go and see him.
Definitely.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, Eddie, if you're listening, get that cooker on.
Yeah.
When that extension's built, we'll be around. 3 best things about the hobby for you.
3 best things is going to be. There's going to be an answer on the other one of this because I know you're going to come to the worst things. It's people.
Yep.
That's the best thing. It's people. And the variety is number 2. The variety of what you want. Number 3 would be. Number 3 is going to be a very selfish one. It's me and my closed door. Shut that door. It's my space.
Yeah.
And number 3 is my space, my getaway. But number 1 is the people. Number 2 was the variety of animals you can choose.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
work with.
There's something for everyone.
There's something for everyone. And number 3 is this is mine. My shut that door. I'm in my own world. It doesn't matter what's going on out there. This is me. All my thoughts go. It used to be motorbikes. I used to run my motorbike because you had to concentrate on the motorbike. I never thought about nothing, and that's the same in here. When I come in here, I know I've got to clean snakes, and I'll put music.
There's only 2 things that matter, aren't there? Really?
Yeah, I put my music on, and I'm happy. So yeah, them 3 things is people, variety, and my space.
Touched on it just briefly there. On the flip side, then, the 3 worst things in the hobby for you.
People.
It's always the same people, the best and the worst.
It's people. You get good or bad people. So yeah, it's people. Worst thing. It's quite hard for me this because I do enjoy it. I do enjoy everything about it. But you do get your, as we're talking about the late Mr. Sam used to say, you get the slugs.
Yeah.
You get the slugs out there. But I think you need them as much as we don't want them. We do need them.
Just putting it out there, Sam's not dead. He's not the late Sam.
No, he's dead.
He's dead now.
Dead, yeah. Him and Stuart Payne both died.
Keenan's fault.
Yeah, Keenan had enough of the pair of them. People, I was thinking, at the moment, I'm going to say pricing.
Yeah.
And it's not because I want more money. I just worry that if someone's only willing to pay a certain amount for an animal, what are they going to look after it like?
Yeah.
So it's hard to get through on that one for me. I say the people and obviously top. Yeah, and the pricing, I've got a little fault, and I don't think a normal, no hets, nothing like that, a normal male should be no less than £150 in my mind. Because if you're not willing to pay £150 for a normal, what sort of life are you going to give it? So that's me. Price. Yeah, I say pricing, and it's not because I want to make more money. It's because I worry about
the value of the animal and how it's going to be treated. Yeah, is realistically and rightly so. A £50 animal should be exactly the same. Kept the same, treated the same as a £1,000 animal.
Exactly that.
But, yeah, people see value and I don't know how you put it, but value and care as a completely separate entity when it's not. It's all the same, isn't it?
As soon as I pay for a snake, I forget how much it is.
Yeah.
Unless Claire asks, and I say £50.
Yeah, it's only a £50 one.
Yeah, I've always said it. A cheap snake and an expensive snake will cost you exactly the same.
Same to heat, same to feed, same to
Exactly
enclose.
the same.
Yeah,
There's no difference.
Nothing changes. The care is exactly the same.
Yeah.
So on another side of the hobby, obviously, creator, founder, whatever you want to call it, of Wild Racks.
Yep.
Just give us a little bit of background about that and how that sort of come into fruition and how it's gone so far.
So when I got into Royals, I didn't want scaffolding, as I call it, scaffolding racks. As much as I like them, and I think they're perfect in a proper room, I didn't, because I weren't in a proper room then. We're sitting in my room now, which is my garage converted, which are them sort of racks would be fine in here.
Yeah.
But I wanted my room upstairs in my house, I wanted it to look like furniture with the animals were kept in. So that's where I come up with a design for the wild racks. And then a friend of mine got them made for me. James, who we spoke about earlier, started supplying me the electrical side of things, so the heat mats, thermostats, and anything I needed for them. And I struggled finding tubs, the 33 litres, that I thought was a reasonable price. So I actually rung them up, the people that make them, really useful boxes. I rung them up, and I don't know how I did it, but I blagged an account. And I got an account with them, and I started ordering some, and I was actually getting them cheaper than some of the reptile people that had shops. I supply a few shops still now, because I'll get them cheaper than them. How I did it, I don't know. But I get on really well with Roz, who actually works there. I get on fantastic with her. She's a lovely lady. She always helps me out. Any problems with a delivery, bang, she's on it. And so I got an account, ordered them, started using them, and they worked perfectly. I think Eric might have been one of the first ones who said, look, can you get me a rack? I got him a rack, done a rack for him, and then I think he might have put a picture up and showed some people, and then another friend of mine asked if I could do them one. I've done them one. Adam from TA Exotics had some, Sam had some, friends of mine, and then every time they put a post up, I was getting inundated. Can you do me one? Can you do me one? Can you do me one? Can you do V70s? Can you do this, do this, do this? And I could do it. I could get everything, but it was just getting them to where they were, which I couldn't do. I just didn't have the time to, with my work and cleaning all these, to sit down and sort out couriers. And even with a courier, they wanted it on a pallet, they wanted it wrapped, they wanted to pick it up here. They would give you a time. When I looked into it, they was giving you a time slot. Normally I was at work, so I couldn't take a day off. So I just didn't bother doing it for people that were living far away. If they wanted, I didn't mind doing them if they wanted to come and collect them, but they had to collect them when I said, because I couldn't get them in here, and you can't leave them outside. So I did them a little bit. By then, I was friends with Toby at Morph Matrix, and Toby was always like, he's got a very business-minded Toby, and he was like, Dale, you can make a lot of money on this, you could do this, you could do this. And I was like, I don't want to.
Yeah. I
don't want to do the hassle, this, that, the other. And at the time he was working, and I think he got laid off from his job, and he said, look, I think we should do this. I was like, look, I'll tell you what. You run it.
Yeah.
I'll be in the background, and I'll do the designing and ordering and all stuff like that. He went, yeah, no worries. And then shortly after, Liam got involved. So him and Liam were doing the page and all the answering the questions of the people asking, can I have this colour, can I have that size tub, can I have this, can I have this? And I didn't have too many designs in, only the ones that I'd done myself.
Yeah.
And they would then send everything on to me, said, right, we've got a customer that wants 2 wide, 5 high in Mekon with dark smoke tubs. Can you get a drawing done up? Can we get it ordered down? So then I'd have to do, if I hadn't got the drawing already, I'd have to send the drawing over to the people that made the frames. They would go, yeah, that'd be in next week. I go, right, ring up James, I need 5 heat mats and 2 thermostats. Can you get them ordered in? Yeah, no worries, that'd be in next week. Then I'd have to ring up Really Useful and go, right, I need 10 tubs. Can you get these out? So I was doing that. And I thought that's the bit I wanted to do, because I didn't realise how busy it would be. So I started getting stressed. I was like, listen, this is getting too much out. It's out of control. I'm trying to do my work. I'm trying to do my snakes. And I'm ordering this and I'm ordering that and I'm ordering this. It's doing me head in. And they went, well, look, we'll take some on. So eventually what I let them do was ordering the frames.
Yeah.
And then I'd still do all the ordering of the tubs and the paper and the electrics. And then it got more busier, so that become a bit too much. And and I was thinking, I didn't want to do this, but they do. So I rang them up and said, look, this is my contact, this is my contact, this is my contact. Met up with them all, introduced them, said, look, this is so-and-so, yeah, he's trustworthy. If he orders it, I'll stand behind him. It's just trying to cut me out of it a little bit. I wanted to step back from it. Did that. The only thing they can't do is really useful because it has to be delivered to my address here.
Yeah.
We don't want them to try and set up one because they might not get a deal like I did.
Yeah.
So I was doing ordering of the tubs still. So Liam would ring me up, go, Darran, right, we need 200 smoked tubs, 33s, and 50 of these. This. I go, yeah, no worries, I'll sort it out. A couple of days go by, and I hadn't done it. Darran, they ordered, and I was like, oh, no. So I'd order them, and because I was busy, I generally kept on forgetting. In the end, I thought, I'll just give him my login details. So now Liam's got my login details. He now just rings me and says, expected delivery of X amount of tubs, and we'll be down when I come here. So they're running it, and they're doing a brilliant job. They do fantastic. I follow them on their page, and the way they put their posts together, I think, are brilliant. Some of them are really funny as well. Toby must have done them because Liam's got no sense of humour. But yeah, so while they're doing it, I'm seeing it now. They've got their calendars out and they're branching out now. So they're going out into the rats. They're looking into doing the couriers, which are just, I think they want to speak to you and they're going to speak to some other people about their, I think it's DEFRA licence, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they're just going to look into that because they want to be all above board. They're doing really well, and it's nice to know that I started the ball rolling on that, and I'm sort of sitting back and relaxing now. If anyone's wondering, I don't take a penny from it.
He takes 2 pennies.
No, I don't take a penny from it. They do all the work. All I do is a little recording for yours, and I house the tubs now. If there's a new rack that they might want, I'll do a design. But other than that, it's them boys are running it. They run brilliant with it. It's nice to know that I was there at the beginning and I can sit back and look at it and go, I started that.
It's certainly blown up more than you ever expected it to.
Oh, ridiculous. I knew there was a lot of interest in them because they're perfect. Some of them don't work as well as like these ones here. I'm tapping the free wide. I will never do that for anybody.
Yeah,
I will never do it. I've done them. They're not. I want to replace these. I will replace them with free wide. But I'm going to upgrade stuff, which will then, I think, will make it too expensive, too heavy for people to have. But they'll be fine in here for me. So I'm going to upgrade mine. But yeah, it's doing fantastic, and I love seeing it, and I love seeing posts when it comes up. I've just received my wild racks. Absolutely over the moon with it. And you see a lot of people accessorising them now as well, and doing little bits on them like handles and different ways they put the tags on the fronts and stuff like that. It's good. I like it. Yeah, it's really good to see the lads do really well with something that I started.
So what's next for you as Neighbours Constrictors 13? What's the future hold? What's the plan or the vision for the next sort of 3 years, 5 years? If
I had carried on this year with the same speed as I always did, I think I'd have left.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting stressed out with certain things. So this is why I weren't going to pair, but now I'm going to do about 5. But I'm going to cut back on a lot of my things that I think, I wonder what that had happened. So I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to streamline my focus on certain animals, one being the burgundy and desert ghost clown stuff, and up the game of my clowns, lower the gain on the pieds, purely because I've got too many pieds. I'm not stepping back from pied, I love them, but I've got too many. So I'm just going to lower the level on the pieds, slightly up level on the clowns, and just keep doing what I do, just keep doing what I do, bring it back home a little bit from me and work my animals and make sure I'm happy and they're happy.
So we touched on it there. Obviously, the Burgundy project is something you're, pretty close to your heart. Probably the first person to have Burgundies in the UK.
Yeah. I've got a minute.
What are you going to do with that project? Where's it going to go?
Are you trying to get something out of me?
Nah, just want to know what you're doing.
So I did a pairing last year. I got the original. A friend of mine actually brought them in and then decided he didn't want them, so I got them off of him, who's now left the hobby. But he got them in from the Barkers in Texas. Yep. Which are known for Exanthic, yeah?
Yeah, VPI, wasn't it? VPI lunch,
which I don't work Exanthic. So when I got them, I've done some pairings with them. I've still got the original female that come in from them. And I put back to her one of the babies from her, which is a pastel yellow belly pied 100% hair burgundy. So I put that back to her, and I got 2 eggs. Not the greatest. Actually, I got 3 eggs. One died in the incubator, and the other 2 went on to full term. One pipped, which was a pastel yellow belly pied. That would be 66% het burgundy.
Yeah.
The other egg I cut, and I believe it to be, I got Eric to look at it as well, I believe it was a pastel pied Exanthic. It didn't make it. But when I first cut it, I was like, weirded out.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's not the colour I was expecting to see.
It was fully formed, very small, very fully formed. So when I got Eric come in here, I went, what are you seeing? He went, lightning pied, pastel lightning pied, because you tell by the head really blushed out.
Yeah.
I went, that's come from that pairing. He went, well, they're known for having the Xanthic there. So I might redo that. I'm not worried if it isn't.
Yeah.
But if I'm selling something onto somebody, a pair, at least they're going to know. But I think it's only the mum. I'm guessing that the pair that I got in were possible hets. Obviously, the male wasn't, because I put him to the original female.
Yeah.
Never got no Xanthics.
Sure.
And I think she may have then made more possible hets, which I've then gone on to put back to her. And
It's passed over from the moment.
Yeah, that's my
caught up
theory at the
eventually.
moment. It's just, like, some people said, well, it weren't fully formed, but me and Eric looked at it, it did look fully formed. I didn't actually take any photos of it. I should have done. So, yeah, that female down there possibly could be 100% het burgundy, 100% het pied, 100% het Xanthic TKS, did you say?
BPI, isn't it?
BPI. Yeah. So I'm not into the Xanthics, I wouldn't know. So, yeah, it could be possibly that. But it'd be nice to know whether I kept something that come out of it, I don't know. But then, at least if I'm selling to somebody, I can say, look, this has happened.
Chance of triple
Yeah,
recessive.
I spoke to Joe Tully. I've had a chat with him about it, because he's got some of my burgundy stuff. So he knows about it. But I will do the pairing. I'll repeat the pairing again, just to see if it is there. Then if I sell something on, then if they want to make the decision to go for it, they can. But whether I will or not, I don't know. For me, Xanthic takes away everything I'm trying to put in.
Yeah.
Even like when Justin's made the
DGA Xanthic clowns and things.
Yeah, I'm just not. It's nothing that blows me away.
Yeah.
I appreciate the work that's gone into it and how pretty it looks, but it's not the line that I'm going to go down. And I'm sure there's a lot of stuff in here that people will say about mine. So it's not a knock at anybody working with Xanthic. It's just a choice.
Yeah, exactly. We've all got the same things we like, and we've got things we dislike as well. So, like we said earlier, there's always going to be something for everyone. And obviously, you've got quite a few different genes in there that people probably aren't too familiar with or haven't really seen much of. You've obviously got like the Nova stuff, and you've got the Riptide as well, which isn't. I don't know if there's anyone else with it in the UK.
I had that on out yesterday, the Riptide. I need to catch up with Roland from Iris. I spoke to him last year, and I think he was moving facilities.
Yeah.
In him moving, none of his Riptide stuff went. He told me he had a quiet season, and he told me how many clutches he had. I was like, Jesus, that's not a quiet season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't caught up with him in a long time. I will catch up with him to find out what he's doing, but I'm being really strict with that. I want to produce a Desert Ghost clown to go to it, because that is mine and Eric's.
Yeah.
That's still mine and Eric's. Obviously, I don't think Eric would appreciate me putting a pied to it, because he's not a pied guy. So I'm trying to do something that I want to do and Eric would like to do. So we've spoken about it. So there's the chance there to make a pastel, at the very least it'd be a pastel Desert Ghost clown. Hopefully it's a male, and then I can put that to it. And straight away, it'd be 100% Riptide, Desert Ghost, clown to work with.
Yeah.
So, yeah, start that. And then perhaps the following year, if Eric wants to do something with it, and do that. And, yeah. But I've got to do some more talking to Roland about the Riptide. He's let some hets out and that go now. Some people are messaging me, I've got to het this.
Okay.
So I know he's let some hets go, but I don't know what he's done with it.
Yeah.
But I've seen what he does in other things that he's got in his collection.
Some of the hets look crazy as well, don't they?
The hets look mad, really mad. So, but if anyone wondering what the Riptide looked like, it reminds me of a black pastel with hints of special, but it's a recessive gene.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably not a bad description, actually.
Yeah.
So in terms of genes, what 3 genes do you want to add to the collection, if you could, that you'd really like to work with?
I'm getting rid of James. Monsoon.
Yeah.
I love the Monsoon, and there's some possibles floating in here, which I could do this year, but I'm not. I'm going to hold off. Monsoon would probably be up there because I really like the Monsoon, and there's a lot of naysayers. I seem to I like.
And you gravitate towards the stuff that people sort of knock.
When someone says no, I don't like it, like the champagne years ago, I did the champagne. And a lot of people are coming around now. The champagne. I think Justin's last video was
Just done another champagne clown video.
Yeah. So Monsoon would be something I like the look of. Wookie, I like, but nothing sort of. I've got no desire to add anything at the moment.
Yeah.
I really want to concentrate on what I've got. Once I've produced what I've got made, what I've got out of what I've got here, then I'll have to add something to it. So then it'll be, now I need to go and have a look. I've got the Confusion stuff. Love the Confusion. I've got some plans with the Confusion going into Burgundy Pieds, into Clowns, and stuff like that. So yeah, at the moment I'd say it's only the Monsoon that I'd like to add.
Like you say, chances of it floating around already, so...
I think I've got 4 animals in here.
They're all, what, possets?
Yeah. 3 of them being female and 1 being male, so...
It's not a bad chance to take, is it, really?
Let's hope that male is in this.
Yeah.
And at least one of the females.
It takes 1 male and 1 female, doesn't it, to strike lucky?
Yeah, I'd like that. I'd like the Monsoon. But yeah, I thought about getting a different species in here because obviously I lost my green tree python and Eddie's got the...
he's got the boigers, hasn't he?
Yeah, I really like to get something like that. I think that'd look really cool in that tank.
It would.
It's been sitting empty now for too long. Give that a clean out. And
yeah, the mangroves.
Yeah, put the mangrove in there, I think. Something like that.
That'd be cool. Obviously, you've kept other species in the past as well, like we mentioned earlier. You had berms at one point as well, didn't you?
Yeah, if I had space, definitely have another berm. Absolute beautiful. I think they're just so cool. That's the only snake that I've ever had, and the rainbow boas actually, that my partner Claire has ever paid any sort of attention to. Never held them, but she actually quite liked the Brazilian rainbow boas. She loved the look of the faces on Burmese pythons, and I love them. They are big animals, but if I had the right space, I'd love to do a real big enclosure and have a nice big berm.
Huge big berm tank. That'd be awesome.
And I searched years to get a caramel, and I had a caramel, but because my collection of my ball pythons were getting big, I actually re-owned them all, and then made my collection of ball pythons a lot bigger. But yeah, if I had more space, I'd have another berm. Love them.
Yeah, I love berms. I think that for me, just the lavender albino berms are...
I had one of them, yeah.
The lavender berms are just stunning.
Yeah.
Just absolutely love them. Even though I'm not a huge albino fan in things like ball pythons and things, but for some reason the berms just look different.
That was the albino, and it was a berm albino that really triggered me into reptiles. I watched an episode of Miami Vice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was one of them in there, and I can always remember, oh, albino, look cool. And that's why I probably bought the 2 albinos in the beginning.
Yeah, possibly. One gene that you've worked with in the past that you had high hopes for, that you've sort of gone, not really for me. Or something that maybe just didn't wow you like you thought it was going to.
So it's a bit controversial here. I'm going to say Desert Ghost, but I've changed my mind again. So
I remember.
Yeah, so I had quite a decent collection of Desert Ghost stuff, and I sold it all off. Even though she was ready to go, a champagne pastel Desert Ghost. I think I had 2 of them, sold both of them. I had an OD Desert Ghost. Yeah. Sold that. So yeah, sort of kicked myself a little bit, but things happen for a reason, I think. Now I've got the Super Pastel Motley Desert Ghost Het Clown. Yeah. And I've got the Leopard Clown Het Desert Ghost. So by getting rid of them, I can actually leap forward and go straight for the double visuals. Yeah. And anything I miss is going to be a 100% het for each anyway. And a minimum of pastel, which you need. And a 1 in 4 chance of double visual, something like that? So yeah, I do regret it, but I'm sort of a step forward anyway. Yeah. But yeah, Desert Ghost is very cool. Very cool. I've changed my mind on that one. So the closing tradition used to be 4 seats around the dinner table. Who would you invite? I'm going to put that question out there for you anyway, but it's not going to be the closing question. So you've got space for 4 people at a dinner table, dead or alive,
Who are you going to invite?
My dad and my brother. Because they just make me laugh. So I've got how many more seats? I've got one more seat. My class does.
No, you're.
So I've got another 4.
You've got another
so,
two.
Yeah, my dad and my
another
brother,
2 left.
Who's going to wind my dad up? I'll have someone there that'll wind my dad up and go, well, why'd you invite him? Yeah, I'll have my dad and my brother there because they're, and although they're my family, I was close to them. I'm going to go Robert Nash. I'm going to put Robert Nash at that table.
He'll annoy anyone.
But no, it's because he'll shout out Gasson to a female waitress.
Remember
Which
that?
he's done.
Jesus.
He will do something that he won't realise until I tell him later, and how embarrassed he will be. So I've got to have Robert Nash there because he cracks me up.
Tegu money.
Table money. So yeah, I'll have him there. Robin Williams, I love that man.
Fantastic character he was.
Yeah. So the famous person will be Robin Williams, Robert Nash, my dad and my brother.
What are you going to have for starters, mains and dessert?
What I would call a Gasson. I like starting off with a fish.
Yeah.
So I love soft shell crab, so something along the lines of that. And then you've got to have your fillet steak. So that'd be me. So soft shell crab for me with some sort of salad, and then your fillet steak, which is the
Chips.
nuts. Got chips, yeah.
Peppercorn sauce.
Peppercorn, garlic bread. Oh. All that stuff we normally have when we go out to eat.
Yeah.
And the dessert for me, I do like a tiramisu.
Oh, I love one.
Can't go wrong with tiramisu.
I love a tiramisu.
I love a tiramisu, so that's that.
Coffee and brandy all in one. Fantastic.
And then a cheese ball to finish it off with.
Oh, 4-course meal. Port and cheese at the end.
I'm glad you changed the questions up like you told me you was going
Closing question.
to. Go on.
It's going to change. So this series, the closing question is going to be written by the previous guest.
Yep.
So obviously, first guest of 2023, there is no question for you. So I'm going to revert back to one that I never asked.
Got one.
I'm going to revert back to one that I never asked from someone you mentioned earlier in the podcast earlier, Mr. Ross McKee.
Yeah.
His question was, if you wasn't breeding snakes, what would you do?
Probably be in debt for the amount of money I spent on my caddy. See, that's the thing, is I need to be doing something. I am into my cars and stuff like that. I did a lot of cars years ago, and I sort of come away from it, grew up a little bit. And now I'm in my midlife crisis, I'm doing my caddy again. What would I do? It'd be doing something with animals, because I just love the fact that they don't judge.
Yeah.
So it'd be definitely doing something with animals, I think. I like donkeys and goats. I do. I love goats. When I watch the reels on Instagram, if something there about a goat or a donkey, I'm definitely going to watch it. So yeah, it'd definitely be something along the lines of animals. Probably helping them. Donkeys.
Some sort of sanctuary or rescue or something.
Yeah, I actually thought about you can sponsor a donkey, can't you?
Can you?
Yeah, you can sponsor donkeys and you get donkey updates. Yeah, so I'd probably do something like that. I just see animals being abused and it grates the shit out of me. So if I could do something to help that, I'd do something like that.
Okay. So all you need to do, and we'll do it off the microphone, you need to write a question for the next guest coming on.
Which I don't know.
You don't know who that is. I don't know who that's going to be.
Yeah.
And we'll get that done. But I'm going to start wrapping it up. It's been nearly an hour of us gas bagging.
I've just started.
I know, that's what I was meant. So I'm going to wrap it up. Say thank you very much for coming on. Pleasure as always. And if people want to reach out to you, where can they find you?
Instagram is Neighbours Constrictors 13. And for anyone listening, I get a lot of people following me on Darran Hughes Instagram. I don't put no reptiles. You can follow me, but I don't put no reptile stuff up there. It is Neighbours Constrictors 13, and I will be pulling my finger out, and there'll be a lot of stuff going up for sale soon. So yeah, Neighbours Constrictors 13 on Instagram. That's it, really.
And if you are looking at anything,
Market,
it will go in Morph Market.
Yeah.
Again, Neighbours Constrictors 13, and
if
I
you
will
get a
pick up the
response from
message.
Morph Market, you are getting replied by Tom normally.
There we go. Done and dusted. So, once again, thank you very much.
No, thank you.
And see you again soon.
Certainly will. Hi, this is Darran from Wild Rex. We've decided to sponsor That Wolfie Royals podcast for the second year running, as he done so well last year. So, if you're in the market for a custom-made rack in any colour you want, with any coloured tubs you want, check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Back to the podcast.
And there we have it, guys. That was Darran from Neighbours Constrictors 13. Go and check him out on Instagram, Neighbours Constrictors 13. See what he's producing, see what he's doing. He's got some fantastic animals, loads of experience, loads of knowledge, a really nice guy. And if you want to see his big for sale list, go and check out my Instagram and my Facebook pages for Wolfie Royals. I've posted all of Darran's animals up there that are for sale. So if anything does take your fancy, drop me a message and we'll be sure to sort something out.
Hi, this is Sean from Eve's Temptations Royal Pythons and Eve's Temptations Creations. I chose to sponsor That Wolfie Royals podcast because I believe the hobby needs things like this to bring us together and to showcase all the talent in the hobby, old and new. I am a hobbyist Royal Python breeder specialising in double and multi-recessive projects. Check out Facebook and Instagram to keep up to date, Morph Market for available animals, and feel free to message or catch me at a show for a chat. In early 2021, I set up Eve's Temptations Creations initially to print my own snake bags, and it grew massively from there. I print t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, key rings, glass, photo boards, and much more. This is merch printing for the breeders, by the breeders. Unlike the big companies, I will only print it if it will look good, so I can check your logo files and can alter for free, so there's no nasty surprises when your stuff arrives. I can also do gifts for the family, like photo slates, mugs, and baby grows for all occasions like Mother's Day, Father's Day, and anniversaries. Podcast listeners can ask for the podcast bundle, a t-shirt, mug, and keyring package at a discount, which can be for your own logo, podcast logo, or a mix of both. Find both pages on Facebook and Instagram by searching for Eve's Temptations Royal Pythons and Eve's Temptations Creations, and keep listening to the podcast for limited special offers throughout the year. Thanks for listening.
That's about it for me, really. There's not much else to say, but what I do want to do is say a big thank you again to the sponsors for coming on board this year, putting their trust in me, giving me their support for the year. It really does mean a lot. I really do appreciate it, and I hope I can do you guys proud. So, other than that, I'm pretty much all done. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you again next month. From me, peace out.